All right, good afternoon. What's up? What's up? What's up? All right, I am live on Facebook as well as YouTube. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Just want to share an inspirational moment. Inspirational moment. And throughout the day, sometimes I always am reminded of scripture how David encouraged himself in the Lord, and so oftentimes I have these inspirational moments, maybe a thought during my time of meditation, something that keeps me encouraged, and then sometimes I feel encouraged enough to encourage you about whatever the thought is. And so what came to my mind today, and I thought it was kind of cool, it takes work and patience. It takes work and patience. And I just want to encourage somebody to definitely develop a good work ethic. Whether you're looking at spiritual things, natural things, business, whatever case may be, it takes work and patience. And one of the examples that popped into my mind, and you see it in scripture, you can see it all even throughout life, is that it takes work, it takes patience. In other words, it kind of reminds me of when I look at my godfather growing up, and he had a huge garden. And he would, work the ground. He would work it. He would till the ground, get all the weeds out. He would till, he would work the ground. And then after he worked it for a couple of days, he got the ground where he wanted. Then he would plant a seed. But he did so much work. Now he had to be patient with whatever crop or whatever he was looking to produce. And so having a good work ethic is great. It's good to have a good work ethic, always finding ways to sharpen yourself, do things better, keeping busy, not having too much idle time, downtime, wasting time, all that kind of good stuff. But it takes work. When you want to see good fruit, if you want to see great outcomes, it takes work. When you look at sports and basketball or football, those athletes, they put in a lot of time, they put in a lot of work to win the one big game, which is the Super Bowl. And through the course of all this work, they do, in the off season, during the season, just to win a Super Bowl, for an example, they put all this work in to win one game. Off season, regular season, they put all this work in to win one game. And they have to be patient with the process, because in the off season, you're getting prepared for the season, because you want to make sure that when the season starts, you put all this work in because you want to at least make it to the playoffs. Because if you don't make it to the playoffs, then it would seem that all your hard work is for nothing. So there's a process of putting in all this work, but then also we have to be patient, because oftentimes the results we're looking for, they may not come right away. So you're putting in all this work, all this dedication. It's even like somebody going to school. You're putting all this work. You go to school every day. You do your homework. You pass your test. You're putting all this work. But in the process of putting in all this work, you got to be patient, because the reality of it is the results you're looking for, which is to graduate, whether it's from college, high school, wherever, you're looking to graduate, but it takes patience. Why? Because you just can't, day one, put all this work in and think the next day graduation is going to be there. Nope. Graduation may not be 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, whatever the case may be. But the point that I'm making is that it takes work. In other words, don't stop working hard. Don't stop putting a lot of your effort and a lot of time and a lot of dedication in what you're doing. It seems as if it's not going to pay off, but if you're patient and you learn how to wait, all the hard work that you put in and whatever you're trying to accomplish, and we're talking about good stuff. We ain't talking about bad stuff. But we're talking about good stuff that is going to pay off, but you got to be patient. Because patience is allowing the process of your work to develop. You're seeing the results of your work. So that's why it's so important to continue to work, but be patient in the process of your work. Sometimes the results you're looking for ain't going to come right away, but you got to keep working, knowing that if I keep working, I'm going to get the results I'm looking for. And that was the same thing with my godfather when he finally got the ground where he wanted it to. He finally got it, and he planted that seed. He had to be patient to produce the crop that he was looking for. And guess what? It didn't come in a week. It took a couple weeks. It took 3 weeks, depending upon whatever he put in the ground. But he knew what he was looking for. He knew the results that he's looking for. And sometimes we have to work and put in the effort and the time because we know the results we're looking for. But the only way we get those results, I got to work. But even though I'm working because I know the results I want, I got to be patient. It's even like a bodybuilder. You know, a bodybuilder doesn't just start lifting 300 pounds. He works up to that, and then when he works up to 300 pounds. But there is a patient process because his muscles have to develop lifting 100 pounds. His muscles have to develop lifting 125 pounds. And so there is a process that he has to be patient because he just can't get to 300 right away. No, that particular bodybuilder has to work up to it. He's getting the results, but he has to be patient with the results because he's working hard enough to get a result, but the results he's really looking for, it's going to take more work and it's going to take more patience. He may not get to 300 pounds until maybe lifting 300 pounds, maybe 3-4 months down the road. But he put in the work, which we see the results, he's gotten stronger. So now that we see the results, but he had to be patient to get the results. And so that's what work and being patient is all about. You can work very hard, but you have to be patient with the results. Because sometimes you may not get the results you're looking for. It may not happen right away. May not happen right away. But that doesn't mean you stop working. Because you know what you're looking for. You know the results. And so I just wanted to encourage somebody, keep working. Whatever you're doing, it's not saying that whatever you're doing is not working. You may not have seen the results of what you're doing yet. And sometimes it takes time. It takes time. So that's why you got to be patient. In other words, some people start working so hard, and if they don't see the results right away, they give up. But if you'd have been patient, you'd have seen the results. So people get impatient instead of being patient. But you're doing the good work. This is even spiritually. To those who are tilling the ground, or maybe the ground has been tilled for you and now the Lord has graced you to step into a place and you're just leading leaders and empowering people. Listen, it took time, it took patience, it took character, it took integrity, it took spiritual maturity, it took all of these things that needed to take place. And you have to be patient in the process. Don't allow yourself to get impatient and then you miss all of the fruit of the work. You miss all the fruit. You miss all the development because you got impatient. You quit or you try to rush it. No. When I think about rushing it, there are some desserts, and when you're baking it or you're preparing it, sometimes you gotta. I give a good example. My godfather, he used to make homemade ice cream. Get the ice, the sugar, the milk, all that stuff. And what happens is, he would tell me, he would say, son, make sure that you stir it slow. I had to be patient. All right? To get the richness of the homemade ice cream, to get the thickness that I was looking for, I had to stir it slow. I had to stir it slow. And if I would have stirred it fast, it would be really runny and milky. And it wouldn't say it wouldn't be edible, but it'd be more drinkable than edible. But I had to learn how to keep working because the work that I'm doing, stirring all the ingredients to the homemade ice cream, I'm doing a good job. I can't stir it in 3 minutes. It took about 15, 20 minutes because I had to really stir and make sure the ingredients was all mixed up. But I end up, because of my patience, I end up getting the results I was looking for, and I end up seeing the results in every stir. Every time I stir the ingredients, I begin to see the richness of my work. And so you'll begin to see, if you just be patient, you begin to see the fruit, you begin to see the richness of your work. And I begin to enjoy that homemade ice cream, all because I put in the work to make it, but I was also patient. And I didn't allow myself to get impatient, because when I got impatient, I wouldn't get the richness, or I wouldn't get the results that I was looking for. Nice, thick texture, homemade ice cream. And so I had to stir slow. I had to be patient with the process. And sometimes when we're working, we have to be patient with the process. You're going to get your results. You're going to get the outcome. And sometimes you may see people getting an outcome before you, but it doesn't mean that your work is in vain. It doesn't mean that you're not working hard enough. You know, everybody's process and everybody's outcome is going to be different. And I think what we have to learn how to do is focus on the results and the outcome that we're looking for, rather than looking at somebody else's outcome. What happens is we look at everybody else's process and everybody else's outcome, and we want our outcome to become their outcome, but your outcome and your process is your process. For me to get the things that I'm looking for, I have to take the steps. I have to be patient and allow things to develop, allow things to come together however they're going to come together. And just because it seemed like somebody else's life, it seemed like it's come together a little bit quicker than yours, you don't know the process they went through. You don't know the time, the effort that they had to put into to get these results. And it's not saying that the results is bad. The results are probably good, but they still had to put in the work. So keep working is my focus. Keep working. You're going to get the results, but be patient while you work. Be patient while you work. Allow things to develop. Allow things to come together. Allow the ingredients to begin to be mixed. And, you know, when I think about food or dinner or whatever you may create, allow the ingredients to come together. You say your process is taking too long? Listen, you're growing in the process. Whenever we say this, and I'm glad you say that, whenever we say this, that the process is taking too long, we're missing the growth of our process. Where are you maturing at? You know, if it's taking that long, then that means I'm either not growing or I'm missing my growth in some cases. And then sometimes it just takes a long process. You know, it's almost like if I got good Wi-Fi, whatever I'm trying to download happens like that. But if I don't, and the Wi-Fi is not strong, it takes a while to upload or download something. I'm still going to get whatever I downloaded, but it takes a little bit longer. Still going to get the outcome, but it takes a little bit longer. Okay? Yes, I want it quick. And that's what kind of society we live in. We want everything quick, and we don't want to put the work in. And so what happens is when life happens, because we didn't put no work in, we're not ready for what life throws at us. We're not ready. Life happens and we're not ready. Why? Because we didn't put the work in. We were focused more on the results rather than putting the work in. And between focusing on the results that we wanted rather than putting the work in, and you wasn't patient, then what happens is a bunch of unfruitfulness. So then life happens and you can't even deal with the situation at hand because you didn't put the work in and you wasn't patient. So I pray what I've talked about, and for those who are just jumping on, feel free to go back through my video. Just want to have an inspirational moment talking about work and patience. It takes work, but you got to be patient. You're going to get to your results. You're going to get the results you're looking for. You're going to get the outcome you're looking for, but it takes patience. And don't become impatient, because impatience can produce unfruitful things. And if you know, like I know, I don't want nothing unfruitful. I want to see fruitful results. I want to see results that I can benefit from. You know, and it may not take when you get old, you know, but I tell you this, being impatient is not going to help you get through the process quicker. It's not going to help you get through the process quicker. We think being impatient, things are going to happen faster. Actually, it's going to take longer when you're impatient, you know. So keep working. Be encouraged. Keep working. You're going to get the results you're looking for. And I'm looking at spiritual things, natural things, business, money, whatever it may be. Your ministry, what God has called you to do. It's a preparation process. You know, I just didn't pop up and just start preaching. No, it took years. It took many years of like a John the Baptist moment. It took many years of God just pouring into me, preparing me, connecting me to the right people to help groom me and prepare me for ministry and for what God has called me to do. It took many years. And sometimes when you think you're ready, that's how you know you're not ready. Because we look at the fame of it, or we look at, being up, but there's a lot of integrity. There's a lot of preparation to being up. And so keep working. If it's ministry that you're looking at and what God has called you, keep working. But as you're working, be patient. Because God is going to do it in his own time. If you're going to follow God's timeline, he's going to do it in his time. You can't rush God. God has a time and season where everything comes together. And I'd rather do it in God's time and season and be in his will rather than not do it in God's time and season and be out of his will and be all me and not God. And oftentimes, when we become impatient, it's not God, it's us. So keep working. He says, why is God's time when we are old men? Well, God called Moses at 80, and I think he lived to about 120. And of course, that's different times. But, if God can call Moses at 80, then that lets me know you're not too young that God can't use you. You're not too young. Yeah. But you're only 30. Jesus' ministry started at 30. And his earthly assignment ended when he was 33. So you're young. Now you said you're 30, I'm 46. And I still have to keep working and keep tilling the ground and keep doing the work that God has called me to do. And then he graces me or releases me to do certain things. But I got to put in the work. The result is so God can be glorified. I got to put in the work. I got to put in time in prayer and fasting and staying in his presence. So the result is he'll be glorified. So you're young. If you're just 30, you're young. In my eyes, you're a baby. You're old enough to be my son or daughter. You got time. Just be patient with God and let God do what he has to do in you. So when his time comes, you'll be ready for the moment rather than get to a moment and not be ready. So you have to put the time in now. You have to put the work in now. And you will see the fruit of your labor. You'll see the fruit. You'll see the results. So as I come to a close, be encouraged, keep working and patient. Keep working, but be patient. Join us on tomorrow. All right, tomorrow, SIG Ministries Worship and Word Service. That's what we do. We worship until God says minister. And if he doesn't say minister, we just continue to pray and worship in his presence. We would love for you not to just tune in, but if you're in the surrounding areas, Warren, Youngstown, PA, Boardman, Canfield, Springfield, whatever. If you're in the surrounding areas, come on out and fellowship with us at Standing Gap Ministries. And that address is 3507 Suite 3, Canfield Road. We're in the Cornersburg area, Meridian and Canfield Road. Come on out and fellowship with us on tomorrow. We do have youth church. We have youth, and so we're graced and blessed to have a couple buildings where we can do youth church while regular church is going on. And so listen, bring your daughter, your son. Listen, we're going to have a hallelujah time on tomorrow. We focus on worship and word. And we would love for you to come on out and worship with us on tomorrow. We thank you for those who do tune in live and hit like and all that good stuff. We appreciate it, but we would love for you to grace us with your presence. So please come on out and fellowship with us tomorrow. Worship starts at 10:30 a.m. and we go live at 11 a.m. Now that may be different according to your times based on where you live at. Worship at 10:30. We go live at 11 a.m. Youth church starts at 11 a.m. Come on out and fellowship with us. We would love for you to grace us with your presence. But God bless, be encouraged. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not. We thank you for those who tune in on a weekly basis, those who have subscribed, those who hit the like and all that kind of good stuff. I thank you. I appreciate you. You've really been helping me build my YouTube page. Really trying to transition off of YouTube. Off of Facebook. So YouTube is awesome, and it's really been growing. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'm gonna definitely put that link in the comments after my video. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to share this video with somebody that maybe need encouragement to keep working, but be patient. So God bless, be encouraged. Hope to see some of you soon at one of our ministries. God bless.